Hello, my name is Carolyn. I'm your client success manager here with LendPro. I'm here to review over all of the LendPro features, the backend platform, the customer journey, and everything that you need to know all in one video. I will be referencing and creating smaller snippets of very much more direct access to key features. If you have any direct questions about that, please see the videos below or in our YouTube channel. But this is going to go over everything all together. The first half is going to review over the customer journey, both for the customer perspective as well as your associates in store. And then the second half is going to be reviewing the back end as for reporting, user management, marketing features, promotions, etc. as well. So just to kind of jump on in, first things first is in store. So in store, next to your register area, you will have an in-store, more so with signage. So with that, with your in-store signage, it'll have a customized with your specific unique location's QR code, as well as a text number as well. So this way, with this being printed out next to your register, your customers can scan this QR code or they can text this number and they can receive an application direct to their device. So the whole point is for your customers to be able to apply for their financing, get options on their phones all in one portal. So with this, of course, is a generic example. That's why there's no QR code or actual text feature. In order to access this, we'll go over that later on, but it'll be in your promotions tab within your LendPro portal. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. So this is one option. So they can either scan or they can text here. Another way is going to be if you would like to send the link directly to your customers. So if you log into your merchant portal, which you should have pinned to a tab in your browser on your store computer, you're going to go ahead and sign in. Now, once you're signed in, you can click on the Send Links tab on the left-hand side of your merchant portal. So here, there's going to be two buttons. There's going to be a little email symbol, and then there's going to be a little text symbol. So you can hover over it. It'll also tell you what it does. But once you click on email or text, it'll pop up with a smaller window here where you can enter in the customer's email address, or if it prompts for your phone number, you enter in their phone number, and then you can click on Send. So that will automatically send them, let's say if you entered in their phone number, it'll shoot them a text letting them know that they received an application link for your specific business, so they can go ahead and start the journey there. And it'll be the same thing regardless whether it's email or text. So it's easy on that front. The invoice total field right here is not mandatory, so you can leave this blank or you can fill it in. It's really up to you on that front, but especially if your customers don't really have an idea, or if you don't have an idea of what that total would look like, you can of course leave that blank. So overall, there are three different methods. You can either send it to them directly, they can scan, or they can text to get that application link there. So let's say they did one of those three methods. They either clicked on the link or they scanned on their own device, on their browser. It'll open up with this window here. So this is going to be the privacy notice, basically showing that everything is going to be encrypted, secure internet protocol, etc. They're going to click on continue. Now, this screen may be different depending on if you have a primary lender in your lineup or if you're just using subprimes. So if you're only using no credit needed lender options, you will only have these two buttons here. So this will get the button for starting the entire process for your customer. So they would click on this and they would start their application process. If your customers, and this goes for either or, if they have any pre-existing applications or if they were in the middle of getting approved or something of that nature. Regardless, they can always click on lookup application. The phone number will automatically be pre-filled more than likely, and all they have to do is enter in the last four digits of their social, and they'll be able to see their pre-qualified offers or approvals. That way they can go ahead and proceed with those applications. Now, if you have a primary lender in your lender lineup, this would be the button for you to click or for your customer to click in order to directly apply with them. So if they're comfortable and confident with their credit, they can just click on this button and go straight to your prime. But again, if they don't want to use a primary, if they want to use the pre-qualified options, they would click on this button here. So let's say they go ahead and click on no credit needed. It'll open up with this short form here. So this is going to be just for registration. So keep in mind, this is not a full application. This is just basically getting a feel of their information. So they're going to fill in their basic generic information, their social, yearly income, and their estimated purchase amount. And with that, once they click on the green arrow here, It'll right off the bat show them what pre-qualified offers they have from certain lenders. Now, please keep in mind that with pre-qualification, this is not guaranteed approval based off of lender or on the pre-qualified amount. The lenders are basically just having they have fields set up and qualifications. So if they meet criteria based off of this generic information here, they'll be getting pre-qualified offers. So it would say the lender's name as well as what the potential pre-qualified amount is for. But please make sure that your customers know this is just pre-qual options based off of their generic information. They're not doing a deep dive in their information by any means. So let's go ahead and say that this customer wanted to proceed with lender number one. They would select one and they would click on continue. They would then get a confirmation screen that they have been pre-qualified by which lender and for what that potential amount would look like. Once they click on continue, that's when the actual application comes into play. So as you'll notice here, it's going to be a lot of the same information like basic contacts, everything they've already pre-filled out in the registration screen up there. So LendPro, since we already have that information, we pre-fill that in for them so they don't need to do it again. They just need to enter in if they're married or not married. Once they click on the continue button here, this is going to be for their bank card as well as employment information. Now, keep in mind through these two screens for the full application, this may vary dependent on the lender and how it looks and appears, just based off of the criteria that they set up for their full application. So please keep in mind this is a very generic lender presentation here. So once they fill in their employment, banking card, etc. information here, they're going to click on the green arrow again. It'll pop up with the agreements, so they'll check off that they agree to the following disclosures, terms and conditions, etc. And then they will click on submit application. So once they click on continue and submit application, that is them submitting their full application for a specified lender. So here in this aspect, this customer got fully approved for this amount by a specific lender, and I'll give them that confirmation screen, and then they can click continue, and their journey is done if they are content with this amount. So there's a few different aspects here that I want to cover. So of course, this is best case scenario. This is all the total that they need, and they were fully approved. Now the associate at this point would go on the back end, which I'll show you here in a bit, and proceed. Now, let's say in the scenario where the customer was declined, let's say they were pre-qualified, they went for full app, they were declined, they would get that decline screen here, but it would prompt them to return back to what their pre-qualified offers are so they can continue with a second or their third option. So that way they can continue with a full application on those fronts. So if they had other additional pre-qualified offers, make sure that they don't lose hope. They can continue on the other offers to see if they get fully approved there. Now, let's say that this customer is approved for $2,000. However, they need $3,000. If they need $3,000, once they click on continue, they will get rerouted to this screen where they can look up their application again, and they'll get rerouted back to their lender pre-qualified options. Now, of course, the one that they were fully approved with won't be there anymore, but they can go ahead and select another one to proceed with, where they can go ahead and get fully approved with a second option as well. So ultimately, altogether, they can get fully taken care of on all fronts on that front. Now, if they were fully declined from all lenders, they were not pre-qualified for any, or if they were declined for multiple, it'll give them that screen as well to let them know. And unfortunately, that's just the end of their journey. So that's the entire customer journey for the application process. Now we're going to switch over to the sales associate perspective. So from the sales associate perspective on the store computer, the associate is going to log into their account. Now, this is going to be the LendPro Portal. So as soon as they sign into the LendPro Portal, they'll be put right on the dashboard. The dashboard is just going to be a quick, short glance of just the most recent applications, which we'll go into all of these other tabs here in a little bit. But this is just going to show you the most recent. So now keep in mind, this is a different scenario. We're going to kind of go over a couple different things. So this doesn't have anything to do with the other approved applications, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we can see this customer, Megan, it looks like she submitted 3 applications, but that's not the case. It was 1 application. LendPro is just showing you the feedback from 3 different lenders for this customer. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see the status column. So you'll see here that the lender number one did not pre-qualify or pre-approve this customer. So this didn't even show up as an option on their pre-qual option screen. However, these two did. So you can see that Megan got pre-approved by lender number two and lender number three and what those pre-qualified potential amounts are. Now let's say that in this aspect, you're checking the LendPro portal and you notice that Megan never went through to get full approval. Because if she did, it would show as approved here on the left-hand side. So since she stopped at this stage, you can click on this complete app button next to either one of these, and this will shoot her a text nudging her to complete her application process. So this is a very easy and great way to re-engage those customers that stopped halfway through. Maybe they got some cold feet, or maybe they were confused in the process. Just by sending this link out to them, it'll capture and pull them back in. Now, let's say that she went ahead and completed an application and she got fully approved. It'll show and indicate here on the left-hand side, and it'll show which lender as well as for what that total amount is. Now, please keep in mind, there are still a couple lenders that are not fully integrated finalization and contract-wise on the LendPro portal. If you have any questions regarding that, you can, of course, feel free to reach out to Jennifer or myself and ask and inquire. However, we, of course, if you do have any lenders that have that incapability, we let you know and we notify you. So if you didn't get notified, then you have no reason to worry about that. So let's say that they were approved, lender number three, but now instead of a complete app button, it now has a finalize button here. So the associate's going to go ahead and click on finalize. Now here, the associate is going to enter in, now it should pre-fill the customer's phone number here, but they do have to enter in the last 4 digits of their customer's social security number for anti-fraud as well as protection purposes. So they're going to go ahead and click on continue. It'll find their application, and then it'll show the list of approved applications. It'll also give them transparency on other pre-qualified offers that they had as well, but they already have their approved application here for $2,000. That's all they need. And so the associate's going to click on continue. Now here's going to be the finalization screen. So here, what the first thing you're going to do is you're going to apply a sales associate to the transaction. Then you're going to just go ahead and fill in the remaining information, which you should already know regarding like the SKU, description of the product, promo codes, unit price, delivery date, etc. Make sure one key factor is do not enter in a previous delivery date. It has to be current or in the future. So please keep that in mind or else that can snag on the lender side. So once you fill in all of this information, double check it again to make sure that everything is completely correct. Because once this is submitted to a lender and a contract is sent out, you'll have to contact the lender directly in order to get any type of revisions or edits. So with this, additionally, if you have any more line items, you can of course add them. So here, so once you have this doubled and triple checked, you're going to click on proceed with transaction. You're going to be met with this screen, which is the final selection screen for confirmation. You're going to click on payment and e-sign documents. So once you click on this button, it's going to send over to the customer their e-sign or DocuSign or invitation to a signing room, depending on the lender. And the customer will complete everything on that front to ensure that everything's all taken care of. So when it comes down to it, the next two phases, one, the customer has to finish signing, and then two, the lender is going to have to take an initial payment or as well as get confirmation they have signed it. But once the customer is complete on their end, they will receive a confirmation screen from their device, and we are all taken care of. Now the customer is completely done with everything regarding the full applications, getting approved, and then signing that contract. So now we're going to go ahead and flip over back to the sales associate perspective. Now, in the scenario, and we're going to kind of pause here for a second. So once a customer has signed a contract, in a good percent chance, you're good to release a product or service, but it's not recommended in that aspect. You always want to ensure that you can see an updated status within the LendPro portal on ensuring that everything is finalized and good to go and marked as funded. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. So again, once you sign into LendPro portal, again, this is from associate perspective on the store or shop computer. It'll open up to this dashboard. I'm going to show you a shortcut method here in a little bit, but if you're operating straight from the dashboard, you'll see here that Megan's with lender number 3, her approved status application is now going to be shown in blue. and now it shows as active order. So whenever you see a blue active order, that means that there is a contract at play. So it's either been initiated or it's been signed, but you have to click into it from the dashboard in order to see the active status. So we're going to go ahead and click on this blue bar here. Now, if under the orders section at the bottom, if it shows orange and contract, that's going to indicate that either the customer has not signed it yet or the lender hasn't finished on their end. So you're going to want to wait until it's moved over. So let's say you went ahead and refreshed your screen. This is going to populate once the customer and lender have finished everything on their ends. So once it says finalize and it's in blue, that means that everything is good to go on both of their ends. You can actually go ahead and just click on this blue bar. You're going to process the settlement here, enter in the delivery date, and then click on submit. So once everything, let's say you entered in today's date, you clicked on submit, it's going to move it over to funded and in green. So this is going to show, and the reason why this is important, even though technically once you see this finalized screen, everything is fine to release, you always want to move it over to funded because this shows in the back end for reporting purposes that not only were the customer and the lender all complete on their end, but the sales associate has released that product or service to make sure the customer is fully taken care of and they have left the building. So overall, when it comes down to it, that is the complete end of checking statuses of contracts and how to move over and process that settlement. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you a couple other shortcut aspects. So that's the entire customer journey from start to finish. Within your LendPro portal, we've already reviewed the dashboard. This is going to be that just quick glance, that brief summary of just the most recent applications. Some people use this. However, I always suggest the search and the orders tabs. So the search is where I recommend you look at all active applications. So anything application-wise for pre-qualified applications, approved applications, declined, etc. You'll see everything here. Additionally, you'll be able to see from a specified filters. So with the filters, you will be able to see within specified date ranges you set. If you have multiple locations, you can select on specific locations you'd like to look at. By lender, status of apps, you can even look up customers specifically by name and by number. Additionally, you can export this data as well. So if you'd like them in CSV to send over to anybody that doesn't have access to the LendPro portal or anything that you need for external, you can of course export all this data as well. And that applies for anything orders as well as reports as well. Now for orders, as we kind of looked at for the active orders on the dashboard, how you have to click into that in order to see that live status. On the orders, you don't have to click into anything. This is going to show you all of your contract statuses all in one place. So let's say if you entered in for 1 month of contracts, you want to see how many that you have and what those statuses are. You can see here with this example that they have 5 orange contracts. So that means that either the customer never finished signing or the lender hasn't finished anything on their end, but more than likely it's the customer not signing based off of the dates shown here. Now we can see a blue bar here, which means that the customer as well as the lender have finished everything on their end. So a sales associate or whoever is tied to this contract needs to click into this. Then they need to process the settlement so that way it can be moved over to fully funded. So as you can see here in green, those are marked as fully funded. So the customer as well as the associate, the lender, everything was taken care of on all 3 ways. So that's it when it comes down to those glances in order to get a deep dive to like search for specific aspects as well. Now for the reports. So for the reporting aspect, there's going to be, of course, the different filter options as well with different date ranges, and other additional filters will vary depending on the report. The processing time is going to show you how long it takes for your applications to get through the approval process by a lender. Daily applications is going to show you your total number of applications by each lender, and then you can either set this up by day or going over for a period of time. Sales performance is going to show you your store's overall performance as well as your sales associates. So this will give you a good glance in regards to how you're doing for financing, as well as how your associates are doing, who's using the platform to its fullest extent, who's struggling a bit and might need some hands-on, etc. from there. Your approval rates is probably my favorite. This one is going to be able to give you access and transparency to compare all of your lenders side by side in regards to total apps, pre-approval rates, full approval rates, etc. from there. So you can really actively compare to see who's performing the best for you. Now, in regards to user management, there is going to be two different sections. There's user management here, and then there's sales associates here. So here you can create and assign login credentials. I always suggest having every single sales associate, whoever has hands-on with financing, have their own login credentials. That way it gives you proper tracking, but also that way they can be assigned to the contracts that they are assisting customers with. So, and then of course you can manage those within the sales associates tab here as well. Now on the promotions tab, this is going to be an important section, especially right at first. So first and foremost at the top here for website integration. So I'll be reaching out to every single customer in regards to website integration. This is definitely something I 100% suggest to increase approval rates as well as just applications in general. So here you can actually download web banners. It's going to be graphics that you can save to your computer. If you take those graphics and then copy and paste this link into an email and send it over to your web designer, they can integrate LendPro very easily within a very short period of time. And that way you can start receiving applications online. So with that, again, you just need to download these graphics and then copy and paste this web link, send it over to your web designer, and that's all that they need. Now, keep in mind the web links, whether that be from here or the application URL from the Send Links tab right here, I definitely suggest only copy paste those. Do not bookmark it before sending it out, as it can break the link. Now you'll notice here on the right-hand side, there's going to be 3 buttons or symbols here. So there's going to be a QR code. Clicking that will open up this QR code image that you can download. This is going to be now not this one specifically, of course, but it'll open up a QR code that is unique to your specific location. So that way, if you have any pre-existing financing marketing materials or anything like that, you can utilize it there. The printer symbol here is going to open up your in-store point of sale or POP. So this is going to be that signage that's going to be set up next to your register area. Now with this is a very basic and generic in-store signage. If you would like to have any type of requests, please reach out to me and I can create something for you. Now here is a little shopping tag button here. So with that, it's going to be more so little bag tags. It comes 6 per page. That way it's easy, slim cutouts. That way for any type of like sleeves for marketing purposes, or if you wanted smaller signage in general posted around your store, etc., you can utilize this as well. So overall, when it comes down to it, my last point is regardless of whatever page that you're at within the LendPro portal, there will always be this blue bar here at the bottom. So this blue bar is going to have our support line as well as our support email. So at any point in time, if you have any questions, requests, anything like that, definitely shoot us an email. Now, if you would like to get us directly on the phone, if it's time sensitive, give us a call here. If our support does not answer, that just means that they're assisting other customers or it's outside of business hours. So just make sure to leave a voicemail so that way it creates a ticket so we can give you a call back. So with that, covers everything about the LendPro portal. It covers everything about the backend, customer journey, everything. So if you have any questions, this is my contact information here. You'll also be able to access within the training app as well to book a post-launch success call with me. So at any point in time, if you want to just really dive into your account, anything about it, feel free to contact me. Jennifer is going to be our implementation and support strategist. So when it comes down to support, as well as integrations with lenders or any type of lender questions, she is your gal. And of course, we have our staple support line. So that would either be Jennifer or Brooke. They're more than happy to help as well. Thank you.